We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2, you're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountains. Good evening in the Central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela's running your hostess with the mostest on the reparations perspective. Bringing you those Negro freezes, descendants of the emancipated Hot Topics fan. For weaponizing our vote. And what else, family? Socializing our suffering. How y'all doing, family? I see you, Root Truckers. I see your funny face. Thank you so much for joining the live. And for those of you who are tuning in from Facebook, welcome to the live. X, if you're in here, welcome to the live. Y'all, please share this everywhere. I forgot to share it. Oh, your sister is a little tired. I didn't get my nap today. So I'm going to try my best to bring to you three lives tonight. Yeah. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but these each deserve their own feature. Let me try to make myself full here and take this off. I've been trying to figure this thing out, y'all. It's not going very well. Let me try something. Let me remove this, and I think I'll be full. There we go. I'm learning. I implore your patience. I wear all the hats. So I've got three great stories to bring you tonight. The first one, we're going to deal with these Demonrats crashing out over illegal criminals. That's right. They're seeking to ethnically cleanse the Negro. Okay. They're ethnically cleansing the Negro with immigrants, both the legal ones and the illegal ones. Okay. Let me see if I get my lighting right. Yes. So that's going to be story number one. Story number two, I'm going to deal with Jasmine Ratchet and the nonsense she's spewing and spinning about, not picking. We don't want to pick cotton when we've clearly got machines for that. And talking about we need illegal. She's really trying to do this full court press like a Jedi mind trick on the Negro, as if we don't see their chicanery. You would think the fact that they lost by a landslide, that would be a wake-up call for them to make the Negro whole in qualified immunity, give us enforced anti-Black hate crime bills, but no. They decide their novel idea is to feed us more of the same demon rat BS. It's rather exhausting, but we must talk about it because, as you know, my protest voter strategy continues. Shout out to the 28% that made it to the polls to vote for deportation and closed borders, our true albatross around our necks. And the third broadcast I'm going to bring you. Yes, I got to shut down and bring the stuff back up, child. And I'm going to try to really be succinct so I can get all three in because hi, Mary Lee. Hi, Deborah Collins. All three matter to me a great deal. The third one is, how the Muslims had a message to the Black man. I think that was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I got a message for Ibrahim Traore, who is getting overly impressed with Barack Obama, who murdered Gaddafi He's really, really impressed with the fact that Obama had good things to say about his interest in his Burkina Faso garnering their independence while not doing a hot damn thing for Negroes. When we gave him a trifecta, not once but twice. Okay. I got a message for Ibrahim Traore about not trusting that white Kenyan demon rat. No, he's a white Kenyan Republican disguised as a Negro demon rat. Yeah. I got a message for you, Ibrahim. I got a message for you. Okay, so with that being said, let's not belabor. Let's get into it. One expo at a time. This is a hot ass mess. To see these demon rats crashing out over illegal criminals, I don't even know where to begin. But let's get it going, y'all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Welcome to the live. Oh, a little housekeeping. Shout out to producers of my last broadcast. Yes, I've been trying to come back to you, but it's month end on my modern day plantation and the quotas and everything that I've got to do to make the goals. I was just too exhausted to come to you live, but I definitely want to shout out my number one producer, Amal. He is the gift that keeps on giving. And Rita, she heard me in a space that I'm going to share with you guys, not tonight. I got to figure out when I'm bringing that. I think I might try to bring that Thursday. Usually the first of the month is easier for me in terms of workload that I can factor in. I'm trying to find my groove, y'all. I know Sundays after church, I'm already dressed, just got to touch up the makeup. That's usually a good time to come to you. But I'm trying to come more often. And I'm seeing a window during the week at the top of the month. But let's not overpromise and underdeliver. I had to give them a special shout out to Amal and Rita. Rita heard me in a space and immediately blessed the Cash App. And you can be a producer as well. Join the growing list of those who love. Oh, why is that red? That is not the look. Oh, no, no, no. That's not what I intend. That is just too much. So let me, okay, we can't do that. We can't fool with what I've done to mess up the technicality of the show, trying to figure it out. You guys know what you can do. And if not, it's Cash App, $TRPTV. If someone is generous enough to flash it in the, type it in, you know what? Let me do that right now. And then I can just flash that on the screen until we get to comments. Stand by, guys and dolls. Yes, if you feel so compelled to bless my voice in this space, TRPTV, this is the way to do it. Okay, because I am being shadow banned. I don't understand why. Y'all, give me a second. I cannot do this red. It is too much. I apologize. I don't know what I did, but it's not cute. And I don't like it. So I've got to change the brand color back to blue. Now, that wasn't so bad. Okay. It didn't take me all night to figure that out. Round of applause for me. Okay. But anyway, I digress. Thank you all for joining the live. Let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Okay. This is a hot mess. I am just over it, but we're going to chew this elephant one bite at a time. Shout out to my daughter, Genesis, who shared the intro with the beautiful young baby girl just getting in her steps. You know, she sent that to me right before I went live, and it was food for my soul. I hope you enjoyed the baby girl doing her line dancing with her family, it appeared. And it was delightful. It did a lot for my heart. I think it kind of helped me to calm down based on what I've got to share. Okay, so yeah, I think it did help me to calm down. So let's just go through this one at a time, and we'll talk about it. Talk about what's going on here.
At this hour, I'm Christina Owayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett is saying that the real reason that Kilmer Abrego Garcia, the MS-13 gang member who was deported to El Salvador, isn't being returned to the United States is because he's too dark. Listen.
So let me tell you something. This ain't about criminality. This is about the fact that he was a little too dark for them, and he ain't even that dark, but they don't like melanin. Melanin is the biggest enemy that they have ever seen. This is why they go after certain people.
That's what you need to know at this hour in Dallas. Christina Owayo.
Okay, that's offense number one. Let me close that out. Hold on one second, family. That's offense number one of the libtards. Let me silence my phone because y'all know folks love to call when you're going live. It's just they don't want nothing till you busy. That's just how that works. Stand by, family. So here you have Jasmine, Crash Out, Ratchet, Crockett, sitting up here trying to make Abrego being in his country of origin. He's from El Salvador, but here you have Ratchet crashing out and trying to make it about complexion. These libtards, these demon rats, are really making a mockery of our never-ending Holocaust in America. Always weaponizing our never-ending Holocaust to uplift the most degenerate people in the country. I really hope you get, family, that this is about the ethnic cleansing of the Negro while weaponizing our never-ending Holocaust to replace not just us, not just our justice claim, but our vote. This is what this is about. Now this illegal, who by and large, because of their dark skin, as Ratchet put it, these are the people that normally mark white on everything, which is how white folks keep their numbers bolstered for benefits. You follow what I'm saying? This is abhorrent, but we're going to be seeing a lot of crazy things come out of Jasmine Crash Out, Ratchet Crockett between this segment and the next. So buckle up, buttercups. But this is the problem with the demon rats, and they keep self-destructing while trying to continue to ignore the demands of the Negro for reparations, an end to qualified immunity, and enforced anti-Black hate crime bill. They won't touch that with a 10-foot pole, but they will crash out over these illegals. Both the hardened criminals and the ones who were allowed into the country by the previous administration, Joe Crow and Kamala Harris. I have never seen demon rats fight this hard for those of us who have been wrongfully imprisoned, those of us who have been wrongfully executed, right? Those of us who bolster the highest rates of exoneration. But this man who is illegally in the country, they are using taxpayer dollars to go over there to try to force his own country of origin, to force him back into our country for due process under laws that he is not even a citizen to. Let's continue. Woo, child, the ghetto. That's all I can say to that. It's just, look, it's too much to go through before I really lose my mind up in here. So I'm going to try my best to just chew the elephant one bite at a time and not take y'all all the way to 1,000, which I tend to do. I'm going to try to be calm. That was what that intro was about. me staying calm. Let's continue.
As far as I'm concerned, he's a lot less criminal than the person that's sitting in the White House. Because last time I checked, he doesn't have any criminal convictions. I don't even think he has any outstanding cases versus the guy that still had cases pending when he was sworn in on January 20th and also has 34 felony convictions. So listen, I don't want to hear anything from the Republican Party about how they're trying to keep us safe when their fearless leader is actually the biggest criminal thus far that we have seen, because I haven't seen anybody with a rap sheet that looks like the president's.
Well, this is another point I've got to make about the chicanery. No, I mean, how dumb does she think we are? Just how dumb does she think we are that they didn't politically, this was election interference. Are we not supposed to know that that's why Trump had 90 plus charges and 34 convictions? I don't know how true it was about his assassination attempts. I believe it. Because when you look at the fraud from the Demonrats, which is why they did not want Trump to win. They did not want him to win because they didn't want it to be discovered that they are just as criminal, if not more so, than him. So once again, Jasmine Crash Out, Ratchet Crockett, just because you guys haven't had charges put on you yet, don't mean that you're excluded from being a thug running the country. You're sitting up here acting as if your hands are clean. I think I read somewhere that you're worth millions. I don't know how that happens. You try to claim that you had that kind of money before you ran for office. I doubt that very seriously. I doubt that you're even Negro. We can't even find where you really descend from, boo. And yet you're sitting up here on national TV talking about a president. Listen, I'm independent, disclaimer. I'm an independent who put the mask on my people when I voted for deportation, closed borders. I put the mask on my people when I employed about 28% that heed the call, mostly our young brothers in the hood. Thank you, young brothers in the hood, from the soil, getting out here protected and holding the line for deportation, closed borders. So I'm not here in defense of neither party. They both suck concerning the Negro. But what I need you to understand and understand is that all of these charges on Trump was about election interference, so their crimes would not be exposed. You know, their insider trading would not be exposed. All this money for war and all the kickbacks would not be exposed. All the money given in the name of USAID for trans, queer, this, that, the other, the third, the fifth, the 1,000th was not being used as a front to launder money back into the pockets of the Demonrats. Y'all just Google it. I got too many slides to go through. I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. I'm telling you what I know. But this ain't like, you ain't got to take my word. That's what they say at the church. You ain't got to take my word. Google it for yourself. So just because they've not been brought up on charges does not mean they aren't as guilty, if not more so than Trump, of defrauding the country, defrauding the taxpayers. All the money I see them accepting from AIPAC to fight harder for Israel than they do the Negro who's put them in office for 70 years. They've been in control 16 of 20 years in this country. But they want us to continue to vote for our own ethnic cleansing with immigrants. And tragically, I want to say 90%, 80% of Black women, maybe more. I think it's, well, listen, they lie a lot. I find it hard to believe that not more than 8% of Negro women voted for Trump. I think that's a whole lie. But they claim that 8% of us and 92% of our electorate that showed to the polls voted Skamala and Tampon Tim. And that 23% of our Black men, shout out to y'all, and 77% voted for Skamala and Tampon Timmy. It is really bizarre to me. You see, I am so tired of us having to see the fat meat is greasy once it's frying, instead of looking at what's happening in California, what's happening in Chicago, what's happening in New York. Why can't we get ahead of these things and prevent it by running for office and voting against immigration, both legal and illegal? It's beyond me. But clearly, you sitting up here comparing Trump to an MS-13 gang member from El Salvador who also has a union job. Oh yeah, let's get into it. He is in the union. How many Black folks do you know? I'm not Black folks. How many Negroes do you know that are privileged to be working in a union? Let's keep going. Woo, child, the ghetto. That's all I can say to that. We're just going to chew it one bite at a time. So, right here you see how the courts are getting in the way of what we voted for as a collective. We voted for deportation, closed borders. And here I posted, oh, I wish I'd get rid of that side thing. Hold on, y'all. I thought I could make that bigger. Let me not fool with it. We got too much to cover. So here I shared in an X-File that there were 0 injunctions for the Demonrats and the Rhino, 30 injunctions for Trump. And let's talk about how many deportations were on their watch. Under Bill Clinton with 3 Ks, he deported 12.3 million illegals, or illegal criminals. No injunctions on him. This bushrat, Republican Rhino, he deported 10.3 million. Courts never had anything to say about it. Barack Obama deported 5.3 million illegals. To date, Trump has managed to deport only 100,000, but he's got 30 injunctions on him. The court's running interference on Trump, which is why he's having the judges arrested. But y'all want to crash out over judges being arrested for harboring illegal criminals. None of these judges work on behalf of the Negro, whose ancestor built this country with their very lives. None of them. Not on the Demonrat side, not on the Republican side. Nobody is coming to the rescue of the Negro that's unfairly incarcerated, unfairly executed, ultimately the highest rates of exonerations. Demonrats. And Trump is trying to do the will of the people and get it out of this country after Joe Crow and Skamala allowed it in. And the courts are running interference. The same way the Demonrats interfered with Trump's election. The whole time. He was getting ready. I can't say whether or not that assassination attempt was real. I would expect, like many of you, to see a nicked ear. I don't know. Maybe he has the best of surgeons to put his ear back on. I don't have a clue, but I'm not trying to get into the weeds of all that. I'm just telling you that they've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at him, and we want it out of here so that our brothers can get work, so that they can make a living like they once did when they had the manufacturing jobs, because we don't bolster the highest numbers of degree because they've priced us out of even an education. And even when you get an education, it doesn't come with any job guarantees. It doesn't come with any promotions. It's all a hustle to keep us in debt, to set our babies up with debt so they leave college with so much debt they can't even afford to buy a house with a median national home price of over $500,000. I'm sorry. Yeah, 500,000, I think, is the median last time I checked. So our men did the bulk of these jobs that Jasmine Crash Out Ratchet Crockett wants to sit up here and tell us in our own churches that we don't want to work these jobs. And you see Negroes who aren't politically educated crashing out alongside the Demonrats, who are giving cover and protection and advice to the illegals on how to obfuscate ICE. So Trump is trying to do his job that the people voted for, and the Demonrats and the judges are running interference, pretending as if illegal criminals are deserving of a due process from a country that they broke into. Let's continue. I'm trying to remember my baby in the intro. Lord, I'm trying. Let me hold on to her. This is why I fight. I fight for our children because they are our future. And I'm going to be over here running my mouth until times get better for Negro, until we're flourishing. Yes, I will. Let me share my screen. Next slide. Next X file. Stand by. I love Scott Jennings. I don't care what you heard. He is the best thing to ever happen to CNN. Here he is telling these libtards that really are a political machine for the Democratic Party. Here he is telling them the TR Ruth about Senator Van Hollen meets with mistakenly deported man. And as you guys have been hearing pretty much all over CNN and MSNBC, they kept referring to him as the Maryland man, the Maryland father of two, the Maryland this, the Maryland that. He's not even legal. He's not even legally here. That's how they gaslight you. That's how they keep these goobers running to the polls to vote against their own interests. Let's listen.
Van Hollen posted a picture of him sitting with Abrego Garcia at a table.
I see these pictures tonight, and I think, boy, the party of women is really covering itself in glory tonight. I mean, I don't understand why the American left falls in love with the worst people. You've got a gang-banging, human trafficking, wife-beating, illegal alien, and a United States senator in a ludicrous display of energy is in El Salvador having Mai Tais and Yahtzee. I do not get it. I do not understand why the left takes on the heroes. I don't get it. I think he has an adjudicated deportation order, and you have Democrat public officials falling all over themselves trying to get him back here without thinking through the next step, which is he's literally going to be deported somewhere else.
But he did have due process. Everything we know about him is documented because he did go through the court systems. He was stopped for trafficking. His wife did file these domestic violence charges against him. He was arrested with MS-13 members with a roll of cash that had the eyes and the ears and the mouths of the presidents erased, which is an MS-13 markings. This is all non-disputed.
Average American looking at this case, a lot of conflicting information. Okay, I believe some, I don't believe. An illegal alien came here in 2011, and somehow in 2025, he's still here after having been through the court system, after having been arrested with lots of people in his car, after having all this evidence.
Deport him?
He just did, and now everybody's mad about
Why
it.
didn't
How
Donald
did an
Trump
illegal
deport
alien
him?
take advantage of our system for 14
Why
years?
didn't
and
Donald
not
Trump
get
deport
away?
him?
So now they want to blame Trump and ask, why didn't Trump deport him? Did y'all hear that? You can't make it up. You just can't make it up. Abby, with her stupid self, is sitting up here asking, why didn't Trump deport him? Didn't Trump just deport him? And the Demonrats are crashing out, headed to El Salvador on taxpayer dollars to drag him back over here? Make it make sense. You can't. You simply cannot. This is unbelievable. Jamel Hill, don't you love the way these Demonrats love to put faces that look like yours and mine out front to be the face of this niggerance? Don't you just love it? Don't you just love being associated with this kind of disgusting sellout coonery? Doesn't it just make you proud? It should. And I know for the people here, y'all agree with me. I know you do. But prayerfully, we got some folks in here that are looking to be converted over to the ways of my protest voter strategy. Midterms are around the corner. I ain't got time to tarry. Let's continue. Let's continue. I love Scott. Like I said, he is the most reasonable person with common sense on CNN. That was the best thing they could have done to save that channel. If he were not on there, they'd go the way of the dodo bird with no one be tuning in. Scott is the reason to tune in. I like him a great deal. Let's continue. I just need y'all to hear it. As they try to convince you, he's a Maryland father of two, upstanding citizen. He ain't even a citizen. You're hearing the facts for yourself. If you don't believe me, you see, I use y'all's mainstream CNN. I got some Fox stuff too. Let's continue. What is this one? Oh, wait, y'all. I don't think I'm going to show this one next. Let me stop sharing that. Stand by. Wait, hold on, guys. Guys and dolls, just give me a second. Lord have mercy. I am just done. Stick a fork in me. So, I want you to see in this next slide how Abrego's wife evades the question of her DV that she put on her precious Abrego. Stand by. I'm trying to get the captions on so y'all can, because it's low for some reason. Hold on.
And they're resisting a court order to bring your husband back to the U.S. They say your husband's a member of the MS-13 gang. Is he a member of the MS-13 gang or any other gang?
No, he's not.
And I know this is a sensitive question, but I have to ask it. You did take out a temporary order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
Husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay, and I'm not going to push on that apparently. But how much hope do you have that you're going to be reunited with your husband? And what keeps you and your family going?
A lot of hope. And this fight still continues for Kilmer, for all the other Kilmers out there whose voice haven't been heard yet. I won't stop fighting until he returns home, until I know that he's safe.
And if you could get your husband a message, what would you like to tell him right now?
I will tell him that I love him, and I'm gonna still keep praying for him until he returns. And I will continue fighting the community, GASA, the unions, Mr. Van Hollen, everyone out here. We'll still continue fighting for him and all the other Kilmers out there.
Well, Jennifer, we want to thank you for joining us this morning, and we hope everything works out well in the way you like for you and your family. Thank you so much.
So you saw that blank stare on that liar's face. She had to get a temporary restraining order against her husband. This man is illegally in the country. What a name, Kilmer. She lied and said he wasn't affiliated with MS-13 gang members. But all the evidence is there to the contrary. She would not talk about the domestic violence, but she didn't deny it. As the Demonrats crash out and tried to make him appear to be a model citizen, using taxpayer dollars. I don't even know if the people that went over there are even from Maryland. I don't think they are. They're from every place else, fighting to get him back. Because they know if they prevail in getting him back, it creates a gateway to keeping all of these illegals here and ultimately getting them the right to vote in this country, which is why they must be defeated until the Negroes are flourishing. Next! This is a nightmare, y'all, but you got to see it for yourself. If I got to see it, y'all got to see it. This here is an X-file. Kilmer Abrego Garcia is a first-year apprentice and member of Smart Local 100, a union representing skilled sheet metal workers across Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and the surrounding areas. Let's hear this gringo, this glacier donkey, speak highly of an MS-13 gang member and wife beater. Let's hear it. Stand by.
Including our brother, smart apprentice, Kilmer Abrego Garcia, including our brother, smart apprentice, Kilmer Abrego Garcia, who we demand to be returned to us and his family now. Bring him home. We need to make our voices heard. We're not red, we're not blue. We're the building trades, the backbone of America. We built a $5 billion, you want to build a $5 billion data center? Want more six-figure careers with healthcare retirement and no college debt? You don't call Elon Musk, you call us. North America's building trades unions. And yeah, that means all of us, including our brother, smart apprentice, Kilmer Abrego Garcia, who we demand to be returned to us and his family now. Bring him home. Including our brother,
Have you ever seen the glacier donkey get this animated over Negro replacement in the trades? Have you ever seen the glacier donkey get this animated over the fact that the public schools have removed the trades from our middle schools and our high schools? Have you ever seen the glacier donkey get this animated when the Negroes were forced out of car plants in the Midwest, out of manufacturing altogether? Have you ever seen him get this animated? He went to church. Didn't he go to church on it? I need to flash my fan. He went to church for that MS-13 gang member and wife beater. All the way in the paint. But Jasmine, crash out dummy, Ratchet Crockett wants you to believe it's because he's got too much melanin. When have you ever seen a Republican clan? Well, I don't think he's Republican. I think he's a demon rat. Personally, I don't know what his party affiliation is. He's a glacier donkey. Okay? Have you ever seen them crash out this way over someone with too much melanin that still identifies as white in this country? Have you ever seen a glacier donkey fight against their very corporations who allow this illegal citizen, this illegal alien, this illegal criminal, excuse me, he's an illegal criminal. Have you ever seen them go to church on the very corporations that allow him to even be in the unions while the Negro is being starved out and economically genocided? Have you seen it? Put it in the chat. Have you seen it? This is what I got to deal with when I'm looking for stories for y'all to paint the picture of how the Negro must show up to the polls in Obama-style numbers to defeat these libtards. You must do it to save your line. Your line is on the line. I don't know how much plainer to put it over here. I got to laugh to keep from crying. Next, this is a hot child, the ghetto. That's all I can say. I don't have no other words for it. Here's another one. Watch a major union leader stand up for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a union apprentice, while the black man starves, while the black man can't get work making an American wage, while the black man goes homeless, while the black man can't afford to marry and procreate, while the black man is suffering the highest rates of incarceration for slave labor in the private prisons. Let's go. Oh, we did this one. I thought the other one in the orange. Let's see what he got to say.
This clip some.
Hold on, y'all. Let's see if this fool is saying something else. I need it memorialized here.
To me, this clip sums up the entire fight of the Trump era. But I need to put it in context first. Trump and Republicans' entire message on immigration is built around pitting us against one another. They want us to believe that immigrants like Kilmar Abrego Garcia are here to steal a finite amount of jobs, resources, and opportunities available to Americans. But anyone who's worked with immigrants knows that that's not true. They're hardworking, entrepreneurial, patriotic. As corny as it sounds, they come here seeking a better life because America is the land of opportunity, and we should be proud of that. That's why this clip stood out to me. This is the president of the National Building Trades Union, the union that represents most of the construction workers in the United States, standing up for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a union apprentice.
We need to make our voices heard. We're not red. We're not blue. We're the building trades.
The president, y'all. You see the spin cycle? All the jobs. Those are the black jobs, y'all. Those are the black jobs that Trump is talking about. While I see every manner of niggerant demon rat acting mortified and clutching their invisible pearls. Black jobs, the horror. Did he call those black jobs? Every job in America is a black job, a Negro freedman job that was taken from us. And you see the union getting involved. You see the public sector getting involved. You see the private sector getting involved. They're all locking arms to economically genocide and ethnically cleanse the Negro, our vote and our reparations justice claim. Is your third eye, which is your first eye, wide open yet? Yes, I don't care that you're offended. I really don't. Tune out if you don't like what I've got to say. This is the fight. Just call me Ida B. Wells 2.0. I am here to save the line. My messages go viral. Folks actually learn and go and teach someone. I can't do this in a silo. I don't get 28% to the polls for a deportation, closed borders by staying quiet and keeping it to myself. I gotta edutain the people. Because we love entertainment. And the only way I can do it is in the form of edutainment. I got to educate y'all. Many of y'all are brilliant. You already know it. But you tune in for more talking points to your people to get them to stop crashing out for their own ethnic cleansing. Happening in real time right now. All over the country. Full court press. 100,000 to their millions. And now they want it all in here because they've seen what it can do to ethnically cleanse the Negro. But y'all want us to have tears for Palestine. Y'all want us to cry for illegal criminals' babies. When you do that, you ain't got no tears left for your own. I'm all cried out for my own. You should be too. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I got to get this one done. I'll be able to read your comments, and we're closing this out and coming back, y'all. Woo, the ghetto. I got to get it out of me. I gotta speak on it. Because I need y'all to know. I can't hold it to myself. Stand by. Let me see here. What we going to do next? Up and cheer. Okay, I think I'm just about done with these. How is supposed illegal immigrant Abrego, blah, blah, Garcia, a supposed union member? Last I knew, it was illegal to hire non-citizens in the United States. Unions involved in illegal activities? Much, says Timothy Sutter. Shout out to you. This is the problem I have. Because they want to sit up here and act like deportations is going to be the solution. When none of these corporations are paying for hiring illegals. None of them are paying the price for having done that. None of them are being jailed for that. I don't know how we can get this under control if we don't press on these corporations who are literally locking the Negro out of access to work. You rob and deny them of owning their own businesses. When we built our own businesses by our bootless straps, you came through and burned them down. We didn't just have slavery, but Jim Crow, and there's a crude, ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. You redlined us out of communities, and now that you want the inner city back, you're gentrifying them out. The Negro, that is. You're gentrifying us out. And then now you're flooding our demon-radically ran cities and states with smallpox blankets, POC blankets, bringing all manner. These are unvetted, unvaxxed smallpox blankets. History repeating itself. Makes me want to holler. I'm trying to hold on to you, baby girl, at the intro. I'm trying. We're not going to make it, y'all. We're not going to make it if we don't continue to annihilate the Demonrats for their intentional neglect and economic, genocidal, and ethnic cleansing plans for the Negro. They have to suffer. And I really don't want to hear how tough it is. Don't you tell me that $10 a carton for eggs and $5 a gallon for gas supersedes the Negro flourishing in the country of our ancestors. I don't want to hear you complaining about the tariffs. I don't give a rat's you know what. I don't care. What I care about is the Negro flourishing, because they're all criminals. But what you can't do is get us caught up in a perpetual cycle of lesser to evil voting for 70 years and then decide the last 4 to vote the couch. When these immigrants are not just taking over federally, they're taking nationally, they're taking over locally. And they're the ones that's in position now to tell you no to being included in the budget. I've shown it here. Did I show that here? When Corey Jackson was on the Hill? Corey Jackson, that was CJEC, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, was on the Hill fighting for UBI specifics for the Negro, who's been legislated out of the state of California down from 17 to 3%, begging for a piece of that budget to be exclusive to Negroes. Corey, who is a Negro as well, gave him every excuse in the book as to why he wouldn't do that. Because you see, our seniors out here and everywhere can't wait for reparations to maybe or maybe not happen. We've got to attack the budget. And they went up there and took seniors with them. And Corey, who descends from the emancipated, pretty much blew them off completely. I think I showed that in one of my archives. Thank you, Mary Lee. Vote the Couch was some of the most stupidest-ish I ever witnessed. And it's been stupid, Mary Lee. It's how we got on the bottom of this Titanic. Capitalism requires a bottom cast, and 40% of our electorate, save Obama, is why we're here, because they don't participate in the elections. And then they want to have something to say about how they're being replaced in their communities. Thank you for agreeing with me. That's what I'm up against. 40% of our electorate chose to vote the couch over weaponization of the vote. Why? Because a lady said to do it? Not running for office and voting the couch is why we're on the bottom. And when y'all become as few in number as the state of California, in the Midwest, the East Coast, and the South, where are you going and with what? They are determined to make us beggars. And we are assisting them every time we vote the couch, and every time we vote for Demonrats, and every time we don't run for office. Let's continue. Thank you, Mary. You are absolutely correct. Thank you, Deborah. I'm going to get to the rest of y'all's comments. Just give me a second. I'm almost done with this segment. And then I'll close us, pray us out in case you can't make it back for the next two. And take a break and load up my next vids to do the next presentation on more Jasmine Crash Out Ratchet Crockett and the nonsense she's spinning about plantations and cotton picking and how we need illegals to farm for us. Yeah, that's going to be a good segment. That's up next. Let's keep going till I'm done exhausting these things here. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe. I can run the banner now because I figured out how to take that red off. That was abhorrent. I don't know what I was doing. I'm telling y'all, I'm trying to figure things out technically using StreamYard. And yeah. Let me show that. Yeah. So it's interesting, but I'll get there, y'all. I'm the little engine that will. Okay. Well, that's one thing you're going to learn about me. I'm not going to stop until I master it because we need it. We need it. So let's keep going. Let's see here. Present. Share screen. This is just wonderful. I love this video. I love this X-File, y'all. I love when Black people stand on business. Okay, this is Fox talking to the people in Maryland where the illegal MS-13 wife beater is heralded as a Maryland father of two, loving husband, working for the union in the skilled trades that our brothers and sisters are locked out of access to. Let's go.
Living in Maryland, designated MS-13 terrorist, and Donald Trump deported him. How does that make you feel?
I feel safer.
He gotta go. He gotta go.
Need to go. I mean, that's it.
But he was a father.
But he's still a terrorist.
Okay. I mean, but there's children living without fathers now.
He should have picked the tree, so he picked to be a terrorist instead of worrying about his children.
The Democrats, they want him back. They say he was wrongfully deported. He has a wife and a kid who's a citizen. They're calling this a national emergency. Is this a national emergency?
I wouldn't call it a national emergency. We got more things going on. We have more things, more fish to fry.
I just found out about it, so I don't think so. What kind of national emergency? For what? What is the emergency for?
Ain't no national emergency, no.
He was accused of hitting his wife twice and was a suspected human smuggler. Was he wrongfully deported?
No, he need to go.
If he's a smuggler, yeah, he needs to be deported.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Your senator here, Chris Van Hollen, he flew to El Salvador where this guy was deported. He met with them, had lunch with them, had margaritas on the table. What's up with your senator?
I have no idea, but I do believe that was a waste of taxpayer dollars.
You agreeing with somebody whipping their wife, terrorizing where you live, then you don't need to live here either.
Senator Van Hollen, you need to come see me, Mr. Coley, because you doing like that. You need to take care of home before you go in other states.
He went to El Salvador.
Oh, that's another country, excuse me.
What has Senator Chris Van Hollen ever done for you?
Nothing.
Nothing. For me? Nothing.
Nothing that I know of.
He ain't do me. I can admit that.
I've never even heard of this person.
Do you want Kilmar Abrego Garcia, this quote-unquote Maryland dad, living back in Maryland?
No. No.
No. No.
Not if he's doing trafficking, no. Why the want somebody like that back? No.
What is your message to the Democrats who really want him back in your community?
Why would you want that in my community? Bring it to your community and see how long you like it up there.
Leave them, or y'all go over there with them.
You're focused on the wrong thing.
If they illegal come.
I just love my people when they are on code. That was rich. That was epic. That was everything. Our people are way too smart for this. Way too smart. They're not falling for the okie doke. Let them Demonrats put them in their communities. That's what they're not doing. They want this in our community as our smallpox blankets to annihilate us and take it over like they did out here in California. The likes of Abrego took over California. That's why we're 3% out here. This was allowed. And it wasn't without a fight. But, like I said prior, interracial sexual access is very difficult to fight for illegals to be deported when you're laying with them and creating Marias, Linglings, and Beckys and Skamalas. It's difficult to do that. You know, it just kind of takes some of the power away from you. It takes away some of your fight. My belief, We need to get back to loving one another and procreating, because there are real nefarious plans out here to make sure that we are no longer here, that we will be history as they erase our history. We will be the history that they actually erase. Let's continue. I think I'm just about done with these slides, and then I'm going to come to the comments. Let me just make sure. Okay, so let me see what this one is. Is this from my Georgia? No, this is from Alb. Amerikkka was sold out to India, and the receipts are in. This is no longer just corruption. This is betrayal of the American people. While citizens across the country were losing their jobs, homes, and hope, India was inside the White House negotiating their replacement. India's demands were bold, and they were granted. Open the floodgates for H-1B, L-1, and OPT visa workers. Eliminate job protections for American citizens. Fast-track green cards for Indian nationals. Ensure U.S. government compliance with India's labor mobility agenda. Prioritize Indian workers across America's tech, healthcare, and government sectors. And the administration delivered. This was not diplomacy. This was surrender. A foreign power infiltrated America's labor markets, hijacked its economic levers, and embedded itself into the national workforce, while U.S. leaders opened every door and looked the other way. This week at WorldNet Daily, exclusive release of the officials who enabled it, the corporations that colluded, the schemes, signatures, and backroom handshakes that sold out American workers. This is not about politics. This is about survival, and me speaking more exclusively, the Negro freedmen survival. That is what the protest vote is about. This did not happen under Trump. This happened under the Demonrats. America stands at the brink of permanent economic subjugation unless its people rise to draw the line. So she wants to follow. Special sneak peek below. Well, I don't see her video. Let me see. Let's go back. I guess this is the sneak peek she's referring to. A collaboration agenda. Well, I don't have time to read all of this. Let me see here if I can even. Ooh, chow. It's small. I don't think I can blow it up any. Okay, let me just press reset. Let me see here. C2 congratulates President Joseph R. Biden Jr. and Vice President Kamala D. Harris of the United States of America on their historic election victory. Their administration has assumed charge at a challenging period in global history as the coronavirus pandemic continues to impact lives and livelihoods around the world. President Biden's ambitious vision to build back better and priorities for the U.S. rebuilding efforts, economic recovery, and strategic reset present a renewed opportunity to further catalyze the U.S.-India economic that's small, partnership and approach trade and economic matters with a fresh perspective as strategic long-term imperatives. Me speaking. not make the Negro whole, bring in more albatross to starve us out. In 2006, President Biden's dream was for India and the U.S. to be the two closest nations in the world in 2020. Our friendship and strategic partnership has flourished, and C2 sees President Biden's incoming administration as an opportunity to propel the relationship further. The U.S. and India must set their sights on a higher trajectory of growth towards the bilateral trade goal of $500 billion and seek complementarity for business, collaboration, and investment. Looking ahead, C2 has compiled the following collaborative agenda for U.S.-India economic engagement to infuse fresh ideas into our bilateral conversation. Coordinate on pandemic response and enhance healthcare collaboration, me speaking. So basically what they ended up doing was weaponizing the pandemic to do more economic harm to the Negro. They weaponized it by insisting that we take a jab that killed many of us, my mother included. They weaponized it against us by telling us that, here, let me make myself a little bigger because y'all can't read this. I can barely read it. Hold on one second. I'm going to finish reading that because that seems very important. They weaponized it to threaten you that if you didn't take the jab, you would be fired from your jobs. They did this in the military as well. One of my comrades' grandsons, who was a husband and father of two, young man, I think early 30s, took the jab so he wouldn't be fired, and it killed him. And so now we see, the third thing is they weaponize the jab, in my opinion, to steal the election. And now we're hearing that they weaponize the jab to enrich India, to deny and lock us out of access to higher earning executive positions, as Jasmine Crash Out Ratchet Crockett would have you to believe that these illegal criminals picking cotton on plantations are the only jobs they're taking from the Negro, when we know fully well that they industrialized cotton picking. And ain't none of that going on. Machines do that. And have been for a long time. I got to finish reading this, y'all. Hold on, stand by. The U.S. and India are among the worst affected countries of the COVID-19 pandemic, but we are also the two most effective partners to lead and coordinate a global pandemic convey response. With the two nations already producing the first Arona K. Iris Bay vaccines, the time is now for further collaboration in the pharmaceutical and healthcare space. The U.S. and India should continue close collaboration in drug discovery, clinical trials, and facilitating the vaccine supply chain via coordinated shipping, distribution, and last mile connectivity to support a resilient pandemic response. That's my word, plandemic. Read between the lines. I know you're picking up what I'm putting down. And I have to speak Pig Latin because my channel has been demonetized and it's shadow banned because I speak against the plandemic. I speak against Joe Crow and Skamala and the Demonrat party altogether because I see clearly who they are. So, yeah. I have to speak in Pig Latin, but you understand what I'm saying. The U.S.-India health dialogue should be reviewed to include policy-level issues that will be critical in a post-pandemic world. The dialogue should include industry participation to enable practical and outcome-based discussion on various aspects of health collaboration between our governments and private sector institutions. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the government of India's Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, must consider an agreement on the COVID. No, that starts a whole new sentence, a whole new paragraph. Oh, Lord, here we go. Let's dig into this part. The COVID-inflicted crises has adversely impacted international trade, and strong leadership at the World Trade Organization, WTO, is critical to break the current gridlock. India has been a constructive and consistent champion of multilateral trading system under the WTO, and the U.S. can collaborate closely with India in leading reform of the 164-member World Trade body to provide the necessary impetus to revive global trade, ensure smooth professional labor mobility, free and fair movement of skilled professionals remain a matter of high priority for both Indian industry and U.S. companies to build and retain talent, innovation, and competitiveness in a global economy. Me speaking. So, dumb the Negro down, take away his skilled trades, make education too expensive, economically genocide them, take anything where they can make legitimate money out of their communities, bring in the war on drugs and the war on poverty to incarcerate them for slavery in the private prison industrial complex, and fly in the educated, the skilled from India and abroad to come into this country and seize the public and private sectors to make a slave of any Negro remaining on the plantation till they starve them out by underpaying them. Our national median, I think, is 50,000. Last time I checked. Their national median is close to 200,000. The Indians and the Asians. That's why the white folks are mad. Because instead of getting in the fight to ensure Negroes flourish, they'd rather do without health care, do without an American wage, just so the Negro can't have it. And now, boomerang, baby. Everything they've done to us is happening to them in real time right now. And the difference is they can't handle it. Our people as a collective have been oppressed for over 400 years. Since Plymouth Rock, hello Malcolm X, landed on us. So we are survivors. And they're either angry that we won't get involved, or they are empathetic that we have fought it long enough. It's time for them to take it over. And none of it is as impactful as when the Negro does it. But the Negro sees that when we do it, All they're doing is taking it back. When we go out and crash out, what did they do when we went out there and marched and protested all over the world for George Floyd? They took DEI. They took diversity, equity, and inclusion to uplift everybody else. Women, LGBTQIA, XYZ, white men, immigrants. And of the 4% of the Negro who benefited from DEI, we don't have delineation, so we can't discern what portion was Negro and what portion was melanated immigrants. And I can tell you at the rate things are going that it was more than likely 3% melanated immigrant and 1% us or less. Because there's just a pattern in the data to suggest that. But this is what 92% Black women and 77% Black men voted for the last election and want to call Trump the criminal. But this will be blamed on Trump. Like everything else is being blamed on Trump. He ain't been in office, what? January, February, March, April, 3 months? Let's keep going. I'm coming, y'all. This is the last page. Oh, it's hard to read. I don't know how to blow this up. Hold on. Let me try again. No, it ain't happening. Okay, let's struggle through. The U.S. government should review recent regulations on a wide array of immigration policy that have impacted labor mobility, including the temporary ban on the entry of green card applicants, as well as non-immigrants seeking entry in the H-1B, L-1, J-1, and H-2B visa categories, and consider immigration reform that clears employment-based visa backlogs, reduces lengthy wait times. Lord, I got the back all the way up. And eliminates unnecessary hurdles, providing necessary stability to high-skilled immigration regime to encourage greater U.S. foreign direct investment, FDI, from Indian companies, reducing the denials of H-1B petitions, as well as escalating requests for evidence, RFEs, would remove the strain recent regulations have placed on the smooth mobility of the skilled and talented workforce necessary to rebuild the U.S. economy. The governments of the U.S. and India must also consider a working group to handle ease of mobility for highly skilled professionals. It is team too much, y'all. Let me see if there's any other crap to share. Okay, that's it of my X-Files. Let's move on to my co-host and what they've got to say about it. Scrolling to the top, then I'll pray us out. I'm only reading the relevant comments. Okay. Deborah Collins says, I'm glad somebody else knows that they were trying to get rid of us. Honey, yes. A lot of us know. A lot of us know. Which man are you referring to? You said you love that man. I don't know which man you're referring to, Deborah. Funny Face, very offensive, as white as he is. Yes, Funny Face is talking about Abrego and Crash Out Crockett, saying that he was not going to be allowed back into the country because he had too much melanin. The gaslight is just sinister. Hi, Mad Dog Media TV. Yeah, they needed followers so bad they brought in the inadequate intellectual. That's beautiful. Yes. Hi, Gwen XOXO. Welcome to the live, beloved. We are Americans and nationalists, and Democrats are globalists. Yes, they are. And that's why we must weaponize our vote and never allow them back in control of the country. They're globalists, and they are for LGBTQIAXYZ. And so there's no space in the Demonrats agenda for the Negro, and there hasn't been since forever, probably since civil rights. And as you see, they only gave it to take it away. I don't know that we ever fully had it when you look at the history. Thank you for your contribution. Major tax, Root Tracker says, major tax update from Trump. He wants to be rid of taxes for those making $250K and under. Well, I hope he accomplishes that. I don't know why in the world we're paying taxes when we're not getting any wealthier. They're the ones that are getting wealthy. So hopefully that will happen. We'll see. We are tribal people and thusly nationalists by nature, says Mag Dog Media TV. Deborah says she does not believe that Crash Out Crockett is FBA. I don't either. It's something about, you can kind of tell who we are through our appearance. There's something about her and the way she talks. It's off. It does not appear to me that she's one of us. And far too many of them are not us. We must weaponize the vote and we must run for office. We have to get people like us here from the soil in office, or we're finished. I don't know her background because, like I've said on many lives, what they're doing now, Deborah, is, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It's Deborah or Deborah. What they're doing now is going through and scrubbing the internet so that we can't tell if they're first or second gen. And that's usually visible through where their parents descend from. But they're scrubbing so that our people will continue to show to the polls to vote for their own ethnic cleansing through identity and respectability poli tricks. That's something I'm trying to end with my demand for a protest vote. LGBTQ is a front for transnationalism. It brings those fleeing religious nations against homosexuality to the United States. Wow, that's interesting. An interesting take. Everything I see is weaponization against the Negro to our ethnic cleansing and our economic genocide. That's everything. Everything they're doing is to make sure they make everything, even who you sleep with, a priority over giving us what we're owed, over ending qualified immunity, over enforcing an anti-Black hate crime bill. So that's the way I see that. We won't get ahead. Hi, Mary Lee. We won't get ahead of anything. Too busy voting for our own demise. Yeah, Mary Lee. Well, you know me, keeping hope alive. That, more of us. My goal is to get at least 50% of us weaponizing our vote and socializing our suffering for deportation, closed borders. That it continues to be my square. That's the only commodity we've got left that we can weaponize against the demon rats until we break them like they've broken us. We'll see what happens midterms. Hopefully we'll get some act right and get up off the sofa, unask the couch, and unask the votes for the demon rats to come out and ensure they don't get any control of the House or the Senate. If we allow them to have another trifecta, we are, you heard it here first. Mad Dog Media says LGBTQ stated clearly that their number one enemy is the masculine straight black male. Well, it's evident through their actions. It's evident. I've just been so over this film nonsense and just over the popular news crap dealing with these celebrities and all of their chicanery. But I went to what I thought was going to be a really beautiful film about black men. It was mostly about trying to make us as the audience accept transgender black men and LGBTQ. I was highly disappointed. I'm not even going to promote it. But I was mortified that I didn't see any heterosexual. There may have been a couple in there, but I don't want to be brought to a movie to be conditioned to empathize with what you do. You're free to do what you do. I don't have to like it nor accept it. But to me, that's what this film was trying to do. And all of these lavender relationships. The director and writer of the movie, the documentary, seems sweeter than 5 pounds of Jack Frost sugar. And he's married. I don't know where this woman descends from, but she seemed to have, more testosterone than him. And another man comes to mind that had a beautiful daughter that he was holding. Met him after the end of the documentary. Married to a sister. I don't know if she's melanated immigrant or, if he is. It's hard, you can't tell by skin tone. And there were no accents, so I don't know. But another lavender marriage. And that's what's happening. They're taking cover in these relationships to black women, having whole families, and then now making movies that are supposed to be about the plight of black men and uplifting black men and letting them tell their stories. And it just seemed full of fairy dust. It's exhausting. Then I went to see Sinners. I don't understand why people like this movie. It was abhorrent. Now, I'm talking about maybe about the last 45 minutes. And I'm not going to give it away because I don't know if any of you saw it. But please, please, please do yourself a great turn. Something I did not do. I just got on the hype train and messed up my entire mental and my spirit watching that movie. So please do yourself a turn and read reviews, watch the trailer, things that I didn't do because I just got, when they were talking, the Christians were talking about it like the voodoo offended them. Well, I don't understand why all this vampire murders and why all this. Listen, I don't have a problem with executing the KKK, but to see all of that in the last 45 minutes was traumatic to me. I don't know how you can get upset about a voodoo, which is African spirituality, which is what we practice as a people before white Jesus was forced down our throats, before the Nicene Council, before the King James Version, before stealing books and hiding them over in the Vatican. We had our own way of connecting with our inner Christ, whatever you want to call that. All of it was stolen by the Europeans. And the best parts that tell you and elaborate on your oneness with your creator, which ain't no white Neptune-looking cat up in the sky, have been locked away to keep you ignorant to the truth of who you really are. God in expression, the image likeness of God in Genesis, tells you who you are. You can't be both a sinner and a wretch and the image likeness of God at the same time. With mastery, power, dominion, and authority over it all, no exceptions. Even this nonsense, I'm just over to teach, because learning politics through a Negro lens is what helped me to wise up to the Demonrats. It woke me up that I can't just go out here and be a crash test dummy and a libtard for the Demonrats and keep voting against my own interests in the ethnic cleansing of my people. But I know who I am, and I know why I flourish, because I keep my eyes single for the truth of who I am. And so for these Christians to get more in a kerfuffle over voodoo, which wasn't even used in a way that was dangerous, to get more in an uproar over that little segment and not the hour of slaughter and bloodshed everywhere is beyond me. Why didn't y'all talk about that? Well, maybe you did. I'm not going to put the blame on nobody but myself. But the movie was really good up until that point. But that point was so major and so diabolical that that's kind of all I can really remember when I reflect on the movie. I ain't got nothing good to say because of that hour-long torture chamber. Don't take your children. And it's the #1 movie in the nation. Why can't we do films where we are seeing in our wholeness and our divinity? I am sick of it. I'm sick of these narratives that paint us like this. They weren't really painting us like that. They were painting the white folks like that. But once the white folks and the vampires got a hold of black folks, they turned into monsters. I'm sorry, I'm giving it away a little bit. But you shouldn't go see it if you haven't seen it. Don't support this kind of nonsense and this representation of the Negro and our stories intertwined in this kind of darkness and ritualistic nastiness that is European. Why does that have to come into our stories? Where are the British trained actors to act out that nonsense instead of using Negroes? What was my point? I don't even know. I'm just hotter than fish grease. At Shannon Sharp. That ain't even a part of this broadcast. I'm just aggravated with the Diddler and Shannon and Shaq. All of them. This is a horrid representation of the Negro on full display in this country and abroad. They have become the white man in black face. And they're too ignorant to not understand that they don't get white privilege behind this. This is what they do. And yet, everywhere you look, they want to talk about their nature and our men. And then they want to point at our youth and talk about them bad. Daughter, mother is live right now. I can't talk. They want to talk about our youth when they don't have any men to look up to. You've killed and murdered. That's a whole nother segment. Let me keep going. I can mention this. I'm going to close on this and keep going with my comments. You've murdered our Black Panthers. You've murdered our Malcolm X's. You've murdered our Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s. You gelled the strength of the soil. As soon as they start to rise up, you either murder them or you put them in jail. And this is the like of the scumbags we are left with. But it's the children's fault that their pants are hanging off. It's the children's fault, right? That they're out here trying to kill one another. If it's even them. You won't allow us to delineate, so we don't know what portion of the murders are unvetted, unvaxxed, illegals, gangbangers being let into the country to start gang wars in our communities where they're dumped, not in the white communities, not in the immigrant communities, in the Black communities. But you want to blame our children when the education system has removed the Negro teacher, has removed the trades, has removed the programs that help them to be whole individuals, and put in 501c3s that do the bidding of the Demonrat Party because they've got their reparations. They're being paid their reparations to sell out the line and be given national platforms to crash out over illegals instead of fighting for our youth, fighting for our incarcerated, fighting to keep us off death row, fighting against qualified immunity, fighting against the deputized able to murder us in cold blood. Daniel Penny, Dylan Roof. You don't hear them coming out for Carmelo Anthony, but they're fighting for MS-13 gang member and wife beater. Records would not budge past her or one of her parents, says Root Tracker. She does genealogy. That shows a lot. She's saying that Jasmine Crash Out Crockett's records would not budge past her or one of her parents. That shows a lot. They are hiding. This is what they're doing with a lot of the melanated immigrants who have now taken over the congressional Black caucuses, that our electorate chooses to vote the couch in almost as great a number as they turn out to the polls. And then wonder why they're begging for reparations from a people who can tell them to get over slavery. People are against Trump deportations because we Americans are supporting him. Yeah. So when you go against Trump, you're going against Americans. You hate us, and it shows. And we're going to remember you at the midterms and the next general, and the next midterms and the next general, and the next midterms and the next general. This is my square. Let Rome fall. I'm just going to sip my water and watch baby girl at the top of the show do her line dance. Where's she at? Hold on, I want to see her again. I need a beautiful chocolate baby doll to dance for me right now so I can cool off and finish my broadcast. Let me find my little sugar pie honey bun. Hold on, y'all. I got to share my lovely here. I need to woosah right now. The children always help me to woosah. Go, baby. Yeah. Oh, makes me smile. I hope that made you smile, because it sure enough makes me smile. I love the children. They are our future. We must do better by them. Yes, so Mary Lee says people are against Trump deportations because we Americans are supporting him. Yeah, they're going to stay losing. They can be in denial all they want, but ain't nobody voting for this come the midterms. You can't be more concerned about inflation and tariffs and any other niggering thing that Trump is doing over your own line flourishing. That's got to be your number one priority. When the Demonrats are in control of the country, we're the only ones in distress. I feel quite at peace with Trump in charge. I just feel, because they're all doing this now. Because we aren't the whipping horse right now. And that's the way I like it. And that's the way I'm going to keep it. Let's keep going. Trump wants to send American citizens overseas prisons, says Beth. Trump is a bag of hot air. When are you going to get that, Miss Beth? I love you. Welcome to the live. Trump is not sending Americans to the prisons. He is talking tough. Don't let these libtards get you in a lather over nothing. It's not going to happen. Now, that would be a violation of the Negroes' rights. And I can guarantee you the Demonrats wouldn't be crashing out over that. They'd applaud that. But even if he does, let's say he does, are you going to fight harder for him to keep our imprisoned? Or are you going to fight harder for your collective to flourish? You see, you've got to learn to put the mask on what you love. I can't put the mask on criminals. I've got to put the mask on my daughter, myself, my friends, my family, your friends, your family, you. I'm not going to crash out over that. He's not coming to get us. And I've got videos on them trying to make it about us. Roly-poly crashing out. Please Let's not be niggard, not you, Beth, but I mean as a collective, to somehow think that this is a real fight for an illegal citizen's due process in a country that he broke into. That does not make sense. They're sitting up here trying to have you to believe that if we don't fight for an illegal MS-13 wife beater to be returned to the country from his country, that's somehow a violation of his due process, which he ain't due, means that our due process is going to be encroached upon. Please use your critical thinking skills. For the love of God. We ain't got time to be no scared Negroes over what Trump says or what he might do. We are at war, and the Demonrats have leveled war at us. They have sent the missiles out. We must return the missiles in Obama-style numbers. That can't be done from the couch. You got to show up to the polls. Trump is doing everything needed to benefit us Americans. Amen, Mary Lee. Especially the Negro. Ergo the title. Trump may not be directly trying to fight on behalf of the Negro to spare us from ethnic cleansing, but this is his second term. And he ain't created no policies akin to Joe Crow's 94 crime bill that was instituted by Bill Clinton with 3 Ks. He's done nothing akin to open borders to 25 million illegals, smallpox, unvetted, unvaxxed blankets being dropped in our communities. He's meeting with opposition, 30 freaking injunctions and judges and Congress people trying to protect the illegals' rights to be here to our ethnic cleansing. They've killed for and stolen all of our wealth. Where are we going and with what? And what country is going to do with the reparations that are owed to their melanated immigrants? They're not going to do anything akin to what this country has done to make them more American than us. So yeah, it's inadvertent, but what he is doing is protecting the Negro and allowing us to get work. Where's my baby? I got to show y'all this because I meant to pull it up. Hold on one second. I got to show him here because now it's on my mind. Just give me a second. I got to memorialize him here because I intended to. My daughter texted me. Sorry, mother. Just love that little poopy bear. She knows that's why I fight. I fight for her. Hold on. I got to send it to myself from my cell phone, y'all, but we got to memorialize it here. Lord, I don't even know how to do a short video. What is wrong with me? Hold on, y'all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Here we go. He's got 2.9 million views. Yeah, that one went viral. I've showed it before, but I feel like showing it again because Mary Lee is spitting nothing but facts as my co-host. All of y'all are spitting facts. But let's show this here because, you know, my videos be so long, I don't even know if y'all watch the whole thing. But I got to get it out. There it is. Stand by.
I didn't have no job. I was doing Uber.
Hold on, y'all.
I just want to tell all my brothers, hey, man, first of all, I just want to say, man, thank you, Trump. Because guess what? I went to a construction site today, y'all. Remember, I didn't have no job. I was doing Uber. Couldn't find a job nowhere. I went to a construction site. They was already working. Got hired on the spot. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Mr. Trump. If it wasn't for the move that you did make for the immigrants, and I'm not talking about the good people, I wouldn't have a job right now. Mr. President, I've been working all day, Mr. President. I just got off, Mr. President. I got a job for Monday, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, let me tell you, man, I walked in today on a construction site, hired me on the spot. I started work today, just got off, y'all. Mr. Trump, thank you so much.
To your point, Mary Lee, Beth says Trump is a fraud. So you would prefer Joe Crow and Skamala? Isn't Trump, in fact, the lesser of two evils concerning the Negro? Isn't that what y'all have gotten us caught up in a perpetual cycle of voting? Lesser of two evils, all the way to bottom caste in this country for the 60% that show up to the polls. Beth, keep watching. Ruth, that's understood. If you can't find anything, then she is not. Ruth Tracker, she's talking about Jasmine Crash Out Crockett is not one of us. Nobody is for us. Well, we got two options. And I believe we've got diabolical options because the Negro never weaponized its vote until recently. Third party ain't going to win. And truthfully, third party is a vote against the Demonrats. I would accept that. I'm saying show up to vote out the immigrants that are running your local politics, your school boards, everything to make sure you're locked out of access to anything that's going to make you great in the country your ancestors built with their very lives. So I'm an independent. My vote was not for Trump. My vote was for the president that offered a tangible that I could eke out, because neither party is offering reparations. Not yet. So I could eke out a deportation closed border because I live in California. I understand its impact. It's happened to me with all of my education and experience across industries. That's how I got in this fight, because it happened to me. And I figure if it could happen to me, it could happen to the least of us. And that was worth fighting for, because they don't have a voice. They don't have the money for a platform. They don't have the King's English and the education. So this is the way I advocate. For those who don't understand why beating the streets when you're only 3% means your flyers end up on the floor more often than not. Because they're melanated immigrants who hate you and want your position. I come here to make an impact nationwide, because that's my gift of gab. I was born to talk. So I'm weaponizing my voice, my intellect, my vote, to make sure my protest voter strategy goes viral. And it's working. Everybody else has got their square and what their assignment is. This is mine. So it ain't about me believing somehow that the repugnant clans like us any better. They want us extincted too. But right now you're choosing between the gas chamber and the guillotine. And what I'm saying is, when you protest vote and you find you a tangible, deportation and closed borders is a real serious tangible, given that they're only putting the unvetted, unvaxxed into our communities. You get to flourish a little longer. to make a difference, to have some conversations and to make some changes. But if you're too closed off because you want it to be about a party thing over a Negro flourishing thing, then you get extinction. I'm trying to prevent that. I don't blame people for not supporting us. We are not for ourselves. Mary Lee, you always drop in facts that I cannot stand. But it's true. I got to share it. I'm so happy Chicago is trying to fight what is happening out there. Shout out to Chicago. They are not taking it laying down. Extremely proud of them, Mary Lee. We've lost the war out here. It's done. It is finished. All these other people have whole countries that are their ethnic homelands that they can get assistance from. Well, I don't know about that, Mad Dog. I think that they've got criminals in power that are robbing and stealing from them as well. But my whole thing is, that's your country. Go build it up like we did here. But who would do that when you've got Joe Crow opening up the floodgates to illegals that can come in here and get housing? They can get cash aid. They can get food stamps. They can get medical. They can get a car. They can get a cell phone. They can get a job. Why would you invest any energy in your own country when you got carte blanche at the expense of the Negro in the country of our ancestors? On invitation by the very party that Negroes have been voting for 70 years. It's easier to just come over here and take advantage of what they're giving away at our expense. Our children won't have a future if another Dem gets in that White House. Speak truth to power, Mary Lee. That's what I'm over here trying to circumvent, my love. And I thank you for all of you in the chat. Even Beth, who thinks that Trump is more of a glacier donkey than Joe Crow. I welcome everyone as long as you remain respectful. I'm going to tell you the reparationist perspective on it. I've lived it. I speak from experience. I'm not just gaslighting. I've lived our replacement out here. And I always ask the question, when it happens in the South, in the East, in the Midwest, where is the Negro going and with what? We have no friends. We got to look in the mirror. We all we got. Americans, mind your business. This is not our fight. Americans, mind your business. I don't know what you're referencing, Mary Lee. That Mayor Johnson is now blaming Trump as to why Chicago is where it is. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, Mary Lee, this is another, must have been a comment to, let me go back. To where I was talking about, Lord, I didn't talk so much. I don't know what I was talking about. Maybe I mentioned something about us sitting this out and how mad they are. Some of them are mad that we're not out here crashing out and being the crash test dummies, and that we've awakened and opened up our third eye, which is our first eye, to the shenanigans. And some are admitting, well, it's our turn to go and protest and take our signs. And you see a stark difference. I've shared it with you here between when we protest for our lives to matter and white folks protest. Police didn't even show up. Honey, we are resting in our femininity. We're not out here in these streets. We doing what the baby girl was doing. Line dancing up in here. Okay? To the left now, y'all. Step back. Okay? We are living our best lives with Trump in power. Not when the Demonrats are in control. So that's what you were referencing. Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're famous for messing things up. Not allowing Trump or Holman to come up in there and take the people out of there. Putting 30 injunctions on Trump. But all of it's his fault. You can't make it up. This is crazy work. How is he Mary Lee says, how is he blaming Trump? Honey, the Demonrats will find a way. Why would Trump say the home grows? Black people will be affected by this if he gets his way. You know what, Beth? You know what I'm tired of? The Trump bad narrative. What did he do to us his first term, sweetheart? What? Put it in the chat. I'll get to it. What did he do to us his first term? Did he put us back in chains like Joe Crow said he was going to do? What policies? He called Africa a shithole country. He didn't say South Central. He said Africa. I don't. Sticks and stones. I mean, that's what my mom taught me. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words shall never hurt me. Come on now. What has he done to the Negro? His first term and now second term. What has he done to undermine and to ethnically cleanse us and to economically genocide us akin to the Demonrats? Please put it in the chat. I'll get to it momentarily. But Trump is doing what we need. Deportations, close that border, stop those benefits for illegals, and ending the abuse of the 14th Amendment. I mean, we can pass the plate, Mary Lee. We can actually pass the plate on that note. I think this broadcast is over. You said that, girl. I'm just going to keep that up there. That interview was horrible. Mary Lee, you ain't ever lied. It was a nightmare to see Jamil Hill and Abby Phillips and all the other little brown-skinned people on there trying to fight Scott Jennings on Abrego. It was abhorrent. And that's why they're going to say losing. Deborah says she can't wait to get her ass beat again. Liar. Deborah said he was making big union money and we got unemployed men. Absolutely, Deborah. Yes, you see it. In your face with it. They're not even slick about it. Now an American can get that position. Well, I'm more concerned about a Negro getting that position. That's what I'm concerned with. But I don't know that they'll do that. And we never will. Indeed, it is. They wanted to really get rid of us. Yes, Deborah, you see it like I see it. Why can't everybody else see it? Why can't the rest of our collective see it? I always ask, if those people were such hard workers, why do the countries they flee from look like hell? Hit. Great question. I bet they ain't got an answer. Deborah looked up, this union worker makes an average of $33 an hour. Non-union, $29 an hour as a sheet metal worker in Maryland. The respectable MS-13 gang member, father of two, wife beater, in the union makes $33 an hour in sheet metal. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. And this is true of the construction jobs. All of those black jobs where black men have been excluded. These black men used to be able to marry and have children and buy homes. I grew up in that era. I remember it. We were that black family. And everybody in our community was that family. This is intentional, not benign. Now these illegals are moving in on the white man's jobs, unions, fire departments in California. Oh, yes, police departments. And that's the only reason why they're mad. Because they're now they got their wigger wake-up call. And I love seeing it. Boomerang. Everything you done to the Negro is happening to you now, white folk. That's why y'all spiraling out of control. And eating my popcorn and sipping my tea. That's all I'm doing. I'm at peace. I look at it like this. If they were hardworking immigrants, why don't they work hard in their own country and build, since they work like the devil, period. Yes, Squid XOXO. Because why work yourself to death like our ancestors once did, when you could just come over here and get a welcome wagon of benefits that the Negro is denied? That bears this video. I apologize, y'all. Y'all just listen. I'm flying by the seat of my inner Christ, y'all, okay? And I got to show y'all this one again, because it's just too rich and too epic not to. This is a perfect segue into it. Hold on, y'all. Just give me a second. Oh, hold on. Okay, just a second, y'all. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification. Thank you in advance. Oh, man. Hold on, y'all. I can't put my hands immediately on it. This bears repeating. Lord. Where is she at? Just a second, y'all. If it takes too long, I'll move on. But I've shown it many times. Well, maybe not many, but enough. Oh, Lord, it's one of my favorite commercials. Okay, y'all, I can't find it. I'm not going to tarry because the hour is late. Basically, the video is about this African immigrant who says it's not our fault. Biden is giving away everything that's due you. We're here to take. It's not our fault. We're going to gladly accept. We're not here to help you be free. We're not here to help you be liberated. We are here to take. And taking is easier, far easier. Rather accepting, because they don't have to take anything. It's our reparations is being given to them. Given to proxy wars. I agree. Vote the Couch was some of the stupidest ish I ever witnessed. And it was tragic to see people with much bigger platforms than mine pushing this narrative. I tried to tell the folks I deal with to vote, and they took the couch. Yes, Deborah. I tried to too. Those immigrants have different lifestyles than us Americans, and we crash all the time with them. That's not cool, period. I agree. Obama brought all these globalists to the table. Yes, he did. They always use people that look like you and I to undermine us. And white folks were saying he's not American, but our folks didn't want to listen. We were so caught up in identity and respectability parlay tricks. You're absolutely correct. Homie is an African Kenyan, and his mama was one of them traveling ladies. Yes, she was. and descendant of slave owners. YouTubers with thousands watching are now claiming a victory because Camel Toe lost. Yes, indeed, Mary Lee. Yeah. But they believe that them voting the couch is why she lost. While these illegals, while Demonrats are pushing for the illegals to have the right to vote in this country and to have the right for them to count so that they'll get more seats in the Black community that's been gentrified and now infiltrated with smallpox blankets. You're supposed to just want to let anyone Muslim in here because of no Obama. Funny Face says, I appreciate this video too. I saw it the other day. I was delighted to see people speaking out against this criminal. That senator should be voted out of office ASAP. As should AOC, as should Ilhan Omar, as should Jasmine Crash Out Crockett. Diversity don't mean you. Someone made a whole new meaning for that acronym DEI. It says deport every illegal. I love it. Yes, it's disgusting. They took over California with our people supporting. We did not fight. Like I said, when you're looking down the face of a Ling Ling, a Maria, or a Becky, all the fight leaves you. You're not invested. You can't be that invested. Those your people now. American been a product of the British East India Company. That part. Well, the Demonrats put thousands on it, especially during their last term. They were flying that crap in at night. No loyalty amongst one another. Is interracial sexual access that good? Funny Face. It has been used like abortion, like the war on drugs and war on poverty and LGBTQ to decrease our numbers while illegals birth citizens with our 14th A. And the Plymouth Company. It was a war on us. It still is waging. I mean, it's kind of ebbed out since we got Trump in. And those same people will be crying in 8 years if they're still around. If they're still around is the operative word. Social media has given foreign nations access to our personal information and profiles. They are studying us. Yeah, studying ways to undermine us for sure, and to use what we've managed to achieve to their advantage. The more we fight to stay together on this internet, the more they know about us as a collective. Well, Mad Dog Media TV, we don't have a choice. The revolution is being social mediaized, and we're a part of that revolution. I mean, how else can we reach the masses? That's why the Demonrats want to censor. They know that we've been over here busy. They're watching us. They're making sure that they're working with these companies, ScrewTube, Facebook, and the like, to shadow ban us, to demonetize us. They're all in collusion together to make sure that we can't deny them another election. But we're going to. We're going to. If I got anything to do with it. Trey Ori. Yes, Deborah. That's coming up. It won't be this long. Boycott industrialized entertainment. Say it, St. Thomas 2009. Welcome to the live. I love that. Boycott industrialized entertainment. That's exactly what it is. That's another thing that's being weaponized against us to our extinction. That's by design. Speak, says Mad Dog Media TV. Those are our men. Those are just the ones everyone can see. I think you meant aren't, Mary Lee. Yes, they're the ones that everyone can see. But this is the problem when everyone can see it. because it becomes, these folks don't use critical thinking skills. Now all of our men will be Shannon Sharp, Shaq. These are big ass pedophiles as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion. Messing with people, you're messing with young girls that can be your grandchildren. And so that becomes, because they get the biggest play, they running their stuff 100 going north, that becomes the face of the Black community. How long have we been dealing with these stereotypes when that is not our collective? But they love to make it our collective for two reasons: to ethnically cleanse us so that you don't see us as human when you a whole race soldier out here screaming that you're afraid for your life while we're running away. And then to make you out to be the monsters that they are. And so taking your life don't matter if you out here doing what Shannon Sharp was heard on them audios doing to this girl at her invitation. I hope it was worth your $50 million, because they about to run your pockets. Just like with Diddy. You tell me one Negro woman that has run these men's pockets in the way these Marias and these Ling Lings and these Beckys have. Yet we are called the gold diggers. We're the ones that these Black men get on these spaces and want to just talk shamefully of us in their music, on their ScrewTube channels. All because a Black woman is doing everything in her power to flourish so that her children can flourish. We get called the names while the Beckys run their pockets and do every manner of nastiness. But they're soft and they're feminine and they're let me do what I want to do. They're not loud. But you left this part out. You left out your freak nasty on them. Because a Negro woman respects herself too much unless she's married to you. She ain't going to be your freak of the week. That's how they raise their girls. That's not how we raise our girls. And yet our girls get accused of being what that zoo nigga girl is. That's what they displace on our girls. Listen to some of these rap lyrics, the way they debase and make whores of our children. The R. Kellys, the P. Diddy's. And folks want to sit up here and say, well, if there was a Black woman, she wouldn't be doing that to you. And that's what's tragic. Because if you were doing that to Black women, and you have, nobody gives a damn. That's what's so tragic, Mace, as you out here talking about how Black women wouldn't run your pockets like that. It don't make it right for you to make a whore of them either. But you do it all the time, and you get away with it because nobody gives a damn about our young Black girls. Nobody gives a damn. And that's the bigger story. That's why he would have got away. You see these officers getting away with raping our women all these years. R. Kelly and Diddy getting away with this for years on our girls. But Cassie, of a whole nother lineage, gets the bag and now gets to come up on the stand pregnant. I don't give a damn. I want them to make beggars of these niggering Negroes. I don't even know if Sean P. Diddy Combs is one of us. Something about his features don't look like FBA. I'm just saying. I am suspicious. Jay-Z ain't one of us. Mm-mm. And the only person when I saw Ocho and Shannon and Deion Sanders, how Shannon just been all over the internet telling on himself in his diabolical, debaucherous ways with women. And he made a comment that turned the stomach of Deion Sanders. I don't know if y'all saw that clip. So I'm just saying, Mary Lee, that becomes all of us. That becomes who the country and the world start to easily fall into these stereotypes and lump us all in this category. That's right. Images create nations. And look at our image nationwide. Because of these people, they get all the press. It's exhausting. I noticed backgrounds being omitted for past 7 years, says Mary Lee. How cute. Yes. Get it, baby girl. How she remembered those steps? Because we're geniuses. We're geniuses. That's what they don't want to display. That's what they want to hide. That's the history they want to erase. I don't care where Trump sends criminals. Amen, Mary Lee. I'm glad Trump paid that prez because money talk. That prez of El Salvador is not going to lose his money. Amen to that. If I'm not watching, I'm listening. Amen. Thank you. I prefer Trump 8 more years. I agree. I do too. Trump offered reparations his first term. It was small, but it should have been accepted as a down payment and kept him in office a second term to get the rest. Well, Mary Lee, I don't know how serious he was about that. That was a number that Marianne Williamson was throwing around. So they just kind of picked up on that. I don't think they were serious. Deportation and closed borders is what we needed and what I voted for. Ditto, Mary Lee. They also got a mortgage to buy homes. No down payment, no credit. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. The government was complicit in that, telling the banks not to discriminate against the illegals. Give them all the loans they desire. Nothing like that for us. Not that we need loans, but they definitely need to give us grants. Child of ghetto. Absolutely. Trump fault. Trump fault. People are stuck in echo chambers. That's why I'm out here speaking, darling. I don't care what Trump called those third world countries. They are ish holes. That's what they're coming here. And that's why they're coming here. And they will make our home the same thing. Already happening. Just look at where we reside. That's where they're dropping them. To be honest, I want the white man to take the lead on politics since our people don't have common sense enough to look out for ourselves. Well, not all of us, darling. Some of us are speaking up and got the smarts. The about interracial sex, that needs to be asked if our men, the women, are following their lead, and more will follow in the years to come. I ain't following their nonsense, honey. If you're not for the Negro woman, I'm not for you. Shannon Sharp and no other American man doesn't need that kind of money, and the white man knew it. That's why he sent Becky to go get it. Mary Lee, a fool and his money are soon parted. They're fit, feminine, friendly, and now the brother's finding out that they're also ferocious. Amen to that. With that being said, family, let me pray us out and get ready to set up the next live. Stand by. Thank you for your comments in the chat. Thank you for keeping it lit. Oh, let me just tell you the moral of the story. The moral of the story is weaponize your vote, socialize your suffering till times get better for the Negro. Okay? That's the moral of the story. Stop voting the couch, unask the couch, let go of the demon rat vote, and get out here and weaponize your vote for deportation, closed borders, until Negroes are flourishing, until all the brothers are as gleeful as the one I showed you in that video and are grateful to be back to work and able to provide for themselves a wife and children so that we can multiply and increase and keep the line going. Okay, that's the moral of that story. The next one coming up is on Crash Out Crockett. That's one I should have bought y'all last week or maybe the week before. I can't recall, but I got to do it because I want to teach a little bit of history about farming and that. It's not going to go as long as this. I don't even know if I'll get to your comments because I've got one more video, a message to Ibrahim Traore that I've got to tell him how he should not be as properly impressed with Barack Obama singing his praises for independence from the white man and the white money, because he's a whole murderer of Gaddafi. And I want to expose how he did nothing for us while selling us nothing but hope. That's the third video. And then I'm out and going to bed, y'all. Okay, let me just pray us out. I want to do my declaration and decree at the end of everything. Okay, and then I can let y'all go and set up the next one. Stand by. Lord, where's my... Okay. I declare and decree that the highest form of righteous judgment is served over all corrupt beings of the government, judicial system, including the police officers, CPS Child Protective Services, judges, attorneys, FBI agents, the CIA, and all personnel working for the U.S. corporation with 3 Ks with wicked intentions. All hidden corruption and agendas are now destroyed forevermore in spirit and in flesh, in sleep and in awakened states, across all timelines, realms, and dimensions, known and unknown. And with that being said, family, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever the Negro freedman is and its allies are, God truly is, because, family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until the next video, if you don't make it back, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your Sunday night and work week. And until we meet again, family, I'm believing for each and every one of us a ton of peace, love, and reparations, family. Stand by for the outro. Hold on, family. It's coming. Pushed on the wrong button. I'll be back in about 30 minutes or so. I need to take a little break. Here we go. Thank you. Let's know about this dude. What am I doing? Okay. I don't know where it is. See y'all soon. Thank you.